Good afternoon, Karen.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for joining me today for afternoon tea. And thank you for our
No problem.
audience that is also here today. So my first question to you, Karen, is what was your childhood like?
It was quite protected because let me frame that. I've got a disability, and it was quite protected um, because of the complications of the condition. Um, i.e., I had epilepsy as a child, and which actually come on after I went to school. Um, yeah, so my mum sort of, and both my parents, when I look back, were protective.
Hmm. Okay. So did you have any siblings?
I had
And
one sister. I've got one sister. I've got one
yeah.
sister,
So was she older or younger
and
than
she's 2.5 years older than me.
you? Mm-hmm.
But the gap feels quite a bit bigger
Mm-hmm.
because of the way I was protected. It's getting better now,
Mm.
but it did feel quite big, a lot bigger growing up.
Mm. So you felt as though she was a lot older than what you were.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
definitely.
And did you enjoy school?
Hated school.
You hated school.
Hated hated school, and
Mhm.
as I am now, and as I into adulthood, I'm realizing, I'm still realizing how damaging my school was. It was a special needs school, and I went to the same school throughout my education,
Mhm.
and they've done a lot of damage. They've done a lot of damage and to me and to a lot of other people.
Mhm.
There was um, I've always been a big person, even
Mm.
at school, and they had what they call, well, they didn't call it this, but everybody that was overweight was stuck on the same table so that it was easy, so we could all have the same thing to eat, um, which made the segregation even worse.
Mhm.
And that's just really the tip of the iceberg. Um, and like I say, unfortunately, it was an awful school. You were just There was more concentration gone on physio and your diet, and but it's a very poor diet rather than your education. So I didn't really go to school to learn. Um, that wasn't what their aim was, although it should have been.
Mhm.
So I left school with no qualifications, no opportunity to have any qualifications. Um,
Okay. So
yeah.
how could they have changed that with you looking back now, knowing what you know now? Could just in case there is a special needs teacher out there listening to this, how could they have improved it if they haven't improved already? The
Um,
education of
I,
special skills.
I think they've made strides forward.
Mm.
There's still a lot to do. There's still a lot to learn, but just give the children the education that they deserve.
Mm.
I can't speak for every special needs school, but our teachers were. I will label them lazy because they just didn't teach us. And of course, as a child, you think you're getting away with it. So back then, I thought it was a good thing. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you think, oh great, I'm getting out of that lesson, like normal children do. But I'm realizing now how damaging that was. Or I realized as I was going through it how damaging it is being.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and as a consequence, I spent probably 9 years catching up on my education, going to further education colleges and further education institutions to catch up on my education.
So that's what you did when you left school at 16, was
When I
it?
left school at 16,
16, you then went on to further education
yeah, and
to learn English,
yeah,
math.
well, when I left school, I wanted to be a hairdresser, and I laugh at that now because I'm quite a stubborn, and I was a really stubborn child, and I wanted to do hairdressing, and they were going, no, it's not going to work, and I'm going, well, don't, damn it. I was like, no, it will. And of course it didn't work. Um, so I went and did beauty and caught up on my education, doing basic maths and English and all the lessons that I missed out on school.
Hmm. So you then did your beauty, and then did you get a job in beauty where you were able to be employed doing your beauty?
I didn't. I went on to do, I wanted to, or I wanted, I just felt that it was more to get qualifications. So I sort of um, I did get into beauty. I'd done a few like um, sold makeup, and for a short time I got into bridal makeup, which was really profitable and I really enjoyed that, going to do bridal parties and doing brides for their wedding day and their bridesmaids.
Brilliant.
That was quite a good thing to get into.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then where did you go from there?
Um, I I worked different jobs, and yeah, I worked in different jobs. Then I went into 2000 and got a job in a charity working with people with disabilities,
Hmm.
and that's where my I changed focus and went and wanted to work with people with disabilities then,
Hmm.
um, to empower them.
Okay. And then when did you decide to do NLP training and your cognitive behaviour therapy?
The cognitive behavioural therapy I done quite a few years ago,
Mm,
um, and I also did counselling at college, which was person centred, and I didn't feel I could do enough with that to just it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough hands on to help people. So I
mhm,
did life cognitive behavioural, and the NLP is just a recent thing.
mhm,
Um, I just because I had to leave it for a little while because of like family circumstances. I went on to do the NLP recently to top up my skills,
mhm,
and that has just spearheaded me forward. Really,
mm,
it seems to be. I didn't realise when I was doing it, but it seems to be the qualification to have these
mm.
days, and I'm loving that.
Good, good. So you said in your information that you help people get the support they need. What did you mean by that?
Right. Basically, through my own experience, I found that even getting basic services these days is really difficult. Um, so I basically go on Zoom and contact social services for people to get services, basic services, such as a piece of equipment or care. Because I basically was told that I didn't need any care and I just needed to get out, um, which is totally against what I need. And I've got I can speak for myself and quite well. And people was, they were still trying to tell me that I didn't need any services. And I'm just the tip of the iceberg.
Mm,
There are people that can't speak out there that are not getting anything, and I know there are.
So you're the voice of for the people then, in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
That
I, as I've said before, I don't like speaking for people, but when I have to, and with their permission, I do.
mm,
You know,
okay. So looking back over your life, is there anything that you would have changed? Obviously, I think you probably would have changed your school.
yeah, definitely would have said the reverse of what happened is. I mean, I'm not blaming my parents. They was guided. They've never had a disabled child ever. Obviously, and they was being guided by the experts. And I would say, look, that's definitely something I would change.
Mm,
Is um, not going into special needs education.
hmm So do you think in today's society you would have been allowed to go to a inverted commas, I don't like saying it, normal
More
school,
school, yeah,
a comprehensive school?
yeah. I think there is a lot more of that. There is like a lot more integration out there now.
Mm,
Having said that, they did try it with me, but um, I was going. It was. I was. I think I was. Yeah, I was 14, 13, 14, and I was going through a difficult time. I just lost my dad, and the transition was just too much.
mm,
I was, as a family, and me and my family were just coping with too much, and I just couldn't keep up.
mm,
Um, had it been in normal circumstances, I might have had a bit of a chance, but again, they should have done that earlier
mm.
when I was 11, when I first started into secondary school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Uh,
like most people, students go to two schools or three
mm,
schools. I
mm,
went to the same school, unfortunately, all through my education.
yeah. So you never, once the teacher in a way had made their minds up about you,
Oh, totally,
you hadn't
totally.
got the chance of starting afresh.
No, totally. I
Then,
mean,
mm,
we was all. This is the teachers and the staff, all of the staff really were just like pick your day centre
mm,
to go to, and that's obviously not me, and I just me and my mum just and my parents just said, well, shove that.
mm,
I've had enough of being institutionalized.
mm, mm,
I want I want a bit of normality.
mm, mm. And now you're living basically on your own,
I live independently.
independently, and you must feel really proud of being able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, out of these extraordinary times, I do work part time in a care home, um, with people with neurological conditions because that's my passion. Just working with people who haven't got it quite so good in life.
Mm,
I mean, here I am saying I didn't want to go to an institutionalized school, and I'm working in a care home, but it's so different to they've moved on. People in that home get choices, and out of COVID times, it's open 24/7 for parents or carers to come in. Um, they get asked within their means what they want. The food there and everything is just exquisite. I'm telling you, there's like 4 or 5 choices a day for dinner and tea and activities all day long.
mm,
Um, I'm part of the activities team as a
yeah.
volunteer, and I work on reception for 16 hours a week.
Mm,
Out of COVID, I'm furloughed at the moment, but that's what I do in my normal day job.
yeah. Yeah.
And it gives you an appreciation of what you have got rather than what you haven't got.
Mm, true. So if you had to live your life again, would there be anything that you would change? I would imagine you'd change your school.
I'd change my school. I'd say, look, I don't want to go there knowing what I know now.
Mm,
I don't know really. I think I'd have, as hard as it is, I would have fought against my parents' decisions quite a lot.
mm,
Although I'm not blaming them, they were being they were being misguided, and I didn't know any different.
mm,
Um, but yeah, I changed quite a lot about my childhood.
yeah.
As I say, my parents were really good parents. They was very protective in a loving way, and in a way where they really had no choice, because I had my condition, like I said, I had fits, and
Mm,
um, I think I'd educate my parents about, not feeling so guilty about the way I am
mm,
and the way I was, because it's not their fault and it wasn't my fault either.
mm,
It was very much a sense in my childhood, like I can't, my parent, from my mum and my dad, we can't put this on somebody else. And I would change that,
mm,
you know.
mm-hmm. And how can anyone on the broadcast help you, or listening to the recording help you? And if they need help, how can they get in touch with you?
Right, I'm on Facebook, and you can get me on my email, which is karen.gibbs72@yahoo.co.uk. That's all lowercase. Contact me there and we'll talk further. We can maybe set up a Zoom and I can maybe support you in that way, or find out how I can support you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there any questions that the audience want to ask Karen Gibbs?
Hi, Karen. I'll go
Hiya.
first if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to your story was amazing, and I always I always like to show my appreciation, because sharing topics like this, it takes a lot of courage to speak openly. So really well done for actually sharing this openly, and you're doing so much amazing work. I just wanted to share with you that my mum was suffered from epilepsy. I lost my mum when I was just a baby, not a baby, toddler maybe, at the age of 3. My father was working, so he couldn't cope, and my grandma and my aunt started to look after my mum and me.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as my mum was concerned, because she was very independent and she loved fashion, she loved making dresses, and she always had a full makeup on. She was a short ass, but she really had, she loved dressing up.
Yeah,
She
she looked
loved
the
big
part, yeah.
heels. Yeah. So you have something in common. So it's and my mum, I have half of her personality. I'm like a perfect half from both parents.
Yeah.
uh, but but unfortunately, the sad thing about it was that my mum wanted more in life, and she wasn't. There is no way that she wanted to just sit, at home and be an ill person, because my dad didn't know how to cope with her condition. The way he looked at it, let somebody else take care of it because he's working. So she actually left my dad, and she
Mhm.
could not, she lost the, she could not have me, have a full custody of me. So she just, it was a battle. And I think that made her condition really bad. She was traumatized so greatly, so deeply, that even when I met her for the first time when I was 16 years, it really showed. And she lost me for good. The first time I met her was when I was 16. But in that meantime, she actually dated my dad's best friend, and he looked after her so superbly.
Mm-mm.
They've been together. When I last met her, they were together for like over 25 years. And she had, such a great journey, great love, great step family. And I think she lives or lived. I have no connection with her simply because it was so traumatic. She said, "You're a grown woman. I don't know you," and I didn't know her. So that
Mm-mm.
relationship was like we just two women meeting, and we had no bonding whatsoever. And her partner, uh, Ron, he said, "Angela, this is too upsetting for her." I said, "I understand." So I just wanted her to be okay. So we parted company. I mean, I will never know. I can find out, I'm sure, through calling and visiting. I'm really tempted to visit her again, but I don't want to upset her.
Mm-mm.
And she's living living a great life, but I will never know if she's still alive or she's gone. So thank you so much for sharing your story. I just
That's
wanted
okay.
to share a bit of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else got any questions to add?
Yep. I haven't got any questions, but I just want to just say how inspiring story is. Incredible. Pat yourself on the back. Um,
The
to
way I pat, the way I pat myself on the back is to support other people.
yeah,
That gives me the biggest pat on the back when I support
incredible.
other people.
Yeah, you've come a really long way, Karen.
Not, I'm not going poor me. I say this every time I speak. Um, I didn't have a bad childhood. My parents were lovely. Do you know what I mean? They were
Yeah,
just misguided.
yeah.
Um,
But you've come out the other side of it as well. And look at you now, you're inspiring other people as well and helping other people.
that's my hope really.
How rewarding is that for you as well?
Mm-mm.
It feel really lovely. Well
Mm.
done.
Have you got anything to ask Maria?
Do I have anything to ask her, or is she going to ask me something? I didn't understand your question.
Have you got anything to ask Karen Gibbs?
Not really to ask, but just to say that you're doing a great job, and I was encouraged and motivated by what you said because I didn't have a childhood like you described, but I do have a mom that I'm taking care of right now that
Mm-hmm.
does have Alzheimer's, and my son has autism. So I'm like beside myself. Um, so I give you credit. I could never do what you do. You deserve a
I'd
medal
like to
and a
support you. I'd
salute.
like you to support me in that.
Yep.
That's exactly the sort of person that I'd like to support who are, I mean, you're obviously coping to a degree, but we need to chat on Zoom 1-to-1.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing the best I can.
Absolutely, and that's all you can ask of yourself.
Mandy, I can connect in with you as well because I can actually help you with some information regarding Alzheimer's and autism. And I can tell you about some healing tools that can help both your mum and your son as well.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
to be able to heal from autism and Alzheimer's.
it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. I took care
Yeah.
of my dad
Yeah. Yeah.
in 2005 when I came back to Greece because he had terminal cancer. And I took care of him from the 1st of March to the 5th of October when he died.
Right.
And I saw him through 2 strokes till he finally passed away. And this is 100 times worse. 100 times worse. It's horrific to see your mother deteriorate every day in front of you.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
today she asked me where her son is. I said, I have a son. Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know sometimes who I am.
Mm.
It's a shame.
It's just horrific
Yeah.
every day.
My in-law, my in-law, mother-in-law, she has started with early Alzheimer's now as well. So yeah, I can see the decline's going pretty fast. But
It's
yeah,
horrible.
if I can help you in any way,
Absolutely.
Thank
if
you.
you've got a pen and paper, I'll give you my email address and just connect in, and I will give you some information to help your mum and your son as well. Have you got a pen and paper?
Yeah.
I'd like to connect with you as well.
Yeah. Just send me an email. So it's info
Mm-hmm.
Jane Moore so JANEMOORE Jane Moore
Uh-huh.
at gmail.com.
Is that
And
all
you just,
lowercase?
yeah, it's all lowercase, yeah. So info Jane Moore JANEMOORE at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
If you just send a hello and just say where we actually connected, and then I'll connect back into you, okay? And we can arrange a Zoom call and see if I can help you
And the
both.
same for me. If you
Yeah.
could put this on the chat Karen, or I could put it in the chat actually.
Yeah.
If you could take it while I'm telling her, it's Karen. My email is Karen.Gibbs
Mm-hmm.
72 at yahoo.co.uk, and we can connect there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thanks.
No worries.
And
Yeah.
I would like to support.
Any more
Mm.
questions?
No, not from me.
No? Okay. Well, thank you very much, Karen, for joining me for afternoon tea today.
No, that's fine.